What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Following the success of the Valby run, and basically what we saw there being that we had an extremely efficient way to run an outpost and essentially farm, and consequently this was of course adjusted down by the developer, it got me to thinking which other outposts could also be, used or abused this way. And we have a huge amount of these outposts in the game, so I tested all of them and essentially tried to see if I could build similar routes or similar systems in some of those outposts. And the good news is we are able to replicate the Valby farm method in some of these outposts, and that's of course the idea of this video. I will share which ones are the best and what you can be looking at. And unfortunately there are a whole bunch of these that you can't do that because it's bad pathing, or the boss that spawns is a melee boss, so basically chases you down the whole time, which means that he's running through your water the whole time, which means you can't really farm it. Or in certain cases these outposts simply don't continue spawning ads like we saw with the Valby run. Now I did some tests and I essentially tested all 21 outposts, and I left some comments here and everything, and I'm not going to run through each one individually. As usual, the link to this file is in the description of this video. It has a bunch of tabs on the First Descendant stuff. This is one of the tabs. This is called the Valby Outpost Farm tab, and you can come check this here. But basically what we have is we have 5 outposts. By the way, this number 5 includes the original Valby farm, which is still doable with Valby. The only issue being that it is not nearly as good anymore. And even though the developer has said that they kind of like brought it in line with other outposts, the reality is they actually gutted the shit out of that outpost, and it's actually far less viable to do than any of the other ones that I'm going to show you. But out of all 21, we essentially have 5 that we can do this kind of pathing in, and basically 3 of them reign above the others. So we're going to talk about a top 3 situation here, and starting us out with our first one is going to be the Fortress Converter Facility. And just to show where that is, that's Fortress, and we're basically going to the Converter Facility, and it's this one right over here. And basically this is going to let you run this outpost exactly as you're seeing in the back here. The focus on all 3 of these, by the way, when you are configuring your Valby, and I will quickly show you the mods that I use with my Valby, is that you want to be configuring your mods for duration increase and not for size increase. You want to leave as thin a path as possible to reduce the chance of the enemy boss pathing onto your water and dying to it, so that you can get the full 2 minutes and 36 seconds that you can grind. But doing Fortress Converter Facility in this way for an hour is going to net you 6.5 million gold, like 414,000 Kuiper, 1.5 million character XP, and 1.5 million weapon proficiency. Now, quick caveat I do want to mention here, of course I am using boosts with my character, as you can see here, and I'm also using what you can commonly refer to as a farm set. So I have a set that increases my Kuiper drop rate, my XP accumulation, and all of that. So please bear that in mind, that these numbers reflect that. So if you are not using boosts, you need to adjust those amounts down by 30%. And likewise, if you aren't using similar, farm setup here, you need to also adjust accordingly for that. But nonetheless, these activities are phenomenally good for an alternative to a lot of the other areas where people use bunny to AoE farm and essentially get their guns and everything leveled up that way. So I like the fact that we have another option here. I started out with bunny originally, and I played her almost, I think I have the most hours on her of any of the Descendants. Maybe Lepic is the other one. And so it's good to have another, option, something else that you can do. Then in second place, we have Agna Desert, which is the Mirage Stone sub-region. And basically, I can quickly show you where that is. So if we go here, we go to Agna Desert. Mirage Stone is over here. I actually featured this in a video that I released I think 2 days ago or something like that, showing you how you can farm great reactors for Valby in this week. But this is the outpost that you should be doing. Now, if you are running this for an hour, you're looking at about 7 million gold coming in and about 387,000 Kuiper. And basically, you're going to be looking at 1.8 million character XP and another 1.8 million in weapon proficiency. This one, once again, you are just running on the outskirts, very much like the Valby run. You're keeping your line as thin as possible. The boss will mostly be milling around in the middle of the area, and even if he does wander into your stream, you can essentially just stand on the opposite end of him and kind of like coax him out, or you can pull him in with your 4th ability or something like that. You know, the sky's the limit, but the point is that shouldn't be that difficult for you to get your full 2 minutes and 36 seconds worth. And then in first place, the ultimate best one to do this farm with is basically going to be Agna Desert Vermilion Waste. So sticking with Agna Desert seems to be really good, but basically what we're talking about is over here, Agna Desert Vermilion Waste, and it's this outpost right over here. Now, doing this outpost is going to net you almost 8.5 million gold per hour, as well as 576,000 Kuiper, and you're going to get about 2 million character XP and weapon proficiency. This one is super efficient. It's a super small circle, and essentially, again, you just go around on the outside. This one, the boss almost never goes into the stream because he tends to kind of like hang around near the box at the top and just take pot shots at you with his laser. So as long as you are keeping track of that, and in cases where he does wander a little bit up, you simply go to the bottom of the outpost and you just get him to come a little bit down. You should be 100% fine, and you could do 2.5 minutes here rock solid. Now, as for what Valby World you should be running to do any of these farms, that's really the beauty of it, because you don't need ultimate Valby like I have here, and you don't need all of this jazz. You don't need all of these mods. All you need to be able to run this is you need something that gives you additional stamina and a little bit increase in skill duration, which Battle of Stamina does. Then also just giving yourself additional survivability with increased HP, because the point is, even if you are starting out with a low Valby, you are going to be low in life and everything like that, and you want to be able to take some shots because you're just going to be pathing all over the place the whole time, and enemies are going to damage you. The good news is, as you're killing enemies, you are also seeing health drops coming from them, so you'll be topped off the whole time in any case. So as long as you have this, you're good to go. And then in terms of like manipulating your skills, the only 2 things you need is you need skill extension. Like I said, we are taking for duration and not for width, so that's why we're not taking expansion, we're taking extinction. And then MP accelerant is going to give us even more duration, and it's actually going to give us a little bit of max MP, but you know, that doesn't matter. This is all you need. And a decent reactor, so it doesn't have to be something that's mounted on 160. It can be a 140 with some non-attribute and dimension skill power boost. This is the one that I use for all of my farms. You can see it has skill cooldown and a non-attribute skill power boost ratio as its additional stats underneath. It's not a 160, it's not a golden reactor, and as long as you're mounted, you're getting that 140% extra. And the most important thing is, as enemies are spawning, they are getting one shot by your water, by your ability, as they basically come into that. And once you have that configured, this farm will work super good for you, and it's basically a lot easier to kit out a Valby like this than it is to make an equivalent bunny that is able to farm just as efficiently and fast, at least in my opinion. That's gonna be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Let me know in the comments down below if you are using Valby for this. I was really impressed by the numbers that I was seeing, and as you can see, I haven't really developed all of the mods and everything on it yet, and basically this is a really comfortable way to farm. You know, you throw up a series or something like that, put on some music, get a beer, and just grind out the kills. And oftentimes these outposts can be in areas where you are trying to spot farm certain reactors, for example, for your other characters, which is just double bonus all the way. We always need more gold, we always need more Kuiper, so farms like this are going to help you out a lot when you are building out your other characters and essentially doubling down on modules and things like that. But other than that, it's just super important to me that you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are in the world. Till next video, fucking cheers.